Right, well this is the first attempt at a parachute. I started randomly with Chux cloth. I've been reading about the idea of venting parachutes, that if you want them to float downwards in a kind of more balanced way, that you cut a small hole at the top. However, the hole that I made might be a little big. I'm going to save the end that I've cut off because I've done a little bit of reading, and I think you need to know the diameter of the area of the amount that you lose. So keep that for reference, and then also I think there's an equation that you do that encompasses the surface area of the parachute as well. So I've followed there's a North Carolina video guide to making parachutes. It's nice and evenly paced, and I think it will work really well with kids. And they used a roll of sellotape, but what I had to hand was a washer, and I'm not convinced about whether or not that's going to be a good balance, but we'll give it a go. I'll scuttle down the road to get some sellotape rolls. If that one doesn't pan out, we'll hunt the house. But it used this one, their model used dental floss as string, and that was going to be interesting. I think if I did this with children, it might be just that little bit too tricky for small fingers, because maybe it was just too tricky for big fingers, that I'm not sure. But anyway, the instructions were pretty easy to follow, clear, so apart from my going off piste and cutting a big hole in it, the test flight will be happening very shortly, and see how that one goes. It's going to be fun, the one-handed launch. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I think I might need to go get my co-conspirator, i.e. my mum, who got dragged into doing my Living World assignment. She has volunteered to help me with launches for this. Anyway, I should be saying something like to infinity and beyond. This is the kind of the target area, the drop area. I just realised my washing is on display. Oh, luckily nothing too embarrassing. Anyway, making hay while the sun shines. We're going to basically launch to this clear covered area at the bottom here. Also not covered, uncovered area. Right between the washing line, so if it hits the washing line, it's gone too far. I did think about using a target or a cross mark, but I guess when people launch aid to refugees, they have a fairly wide drop area. They can be specific, but maybe not to the point of landing on an X. Although I guess if you were a person like Felix Baumgartner or a stuntman or somebody, a skydiver, you definitely want to be a little bit more precise than somebody who was trying to launch a crate of bottled water, for example. So I'm wondering about this one. I can see that the strings, they've probably got quite high likelihood of tangling, but we'll give it a whirl. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Also when we do the tests against other parachutes, what I'll be doing is putting a drag line on the parachute. That's a way of measuring or getting data on. I have to go and double check that one, but that's a way of gathering data that you can use for physics equations relating to parachutes. I think it's to do with terminal velocity, but I better go and double check that. Anyway, this is just to see whether this will actually work. So holding it open, and well, excuse me, flying ant, it's definitely a hot day today. It didn't tangle and it floated down quite nicely. I might give that one another go. Okay, the cool news is that the strings actually survived without tangling at all, so that was pretty cool. But the flight definitely kind of veered off to one side, so it'll be interesting to actually watch it as it goes down. I think I'll go and get my mom and see if she can pitch in and help me out. Okay, hang on. I'm just going to say that we've actually got a surprise visitor. This is my niece Mila, so this is going to see. My mum's going to have a go first, and then Mila will have a turn. So I just want to try and track the flight of it and see what happens. Okay, so ready, 1, 2, 3, launch. Okay, well, good news is it didn't get tangled, so it gets stuck to my they're rough skin. That's alright, me too. Perils of looking after chickens. Okay, Mila's turn. This seems like it's pretty. Okay. Ready? There you go, you. Okay, good girl. 1, 2, 3, go! go. Woo! Falls pretty quick, eh? I wonder if it's because the I think we have a Houston. We have a problem. No, it's come apart.
Oh.
So that's all. It's the dental floss was quite hard to knot, so it's not ready. Get it? Anyway, 3, 2, 1, launch!
Okay, we'll do it again.
At least it's catchable. Currently having the feeling that Archimedes might have had when he went Eureka and jumped out of the bath. I just figured out a way to measure 20 inches of, I'm going by the Carolina video, 20 inches of dental floss. I've been going with a really fiddly method, trying to measure 10 and then another 10. Why don't I just mark out 20 inches on the table? Brilliant. I'm going to get a bit of masking tape and do that. Word to the wise, mark your table. Okay, this is the model I call Chux II, and it actually incorporates 2 methods of building parachutes that I found on YouTube. There was the one from North Carolina, which starts with a circle, roughly this kind of diameter, and then that's the method of attaching the strings, sort of using floss and a weight. So they use the sellotape roll, but washers they're doing it for me now, so that's fine. This one I've modified the hole at the apex. I've made it a lot smaller. It's about 1 by 1 centimeters, and what I took from there's another YouTube clip, the details on the assignment, and he was big on doing it really quickly. And I thought, oh, there's some really neat ideas in here, but I think it's more like impressing people than maybe something that children could follow easily. So basically what I thought, let's rip off his idea of using glue, so that's hot glue, and that worked really well. You kind of just, he folded it over just a little bit, but my either my cloth or my glue wasn't really cooperating, but it didn't seem to affect the flight of the parachute too much. I just did a test, and it worked really well. A little bit off from the intended landing spot on the first one, but the second one it was almost straight down, and it didn't appear to be rushing to the ground as fast as the first one, which I thought was a bit interesting as well. That's even with we changed the weight on the first one too. So I'm going to attach a drag line to this one the way I have on the first one as well. That's mainly for measuring, for getting measurements, so you can get a sense of how fast the parachute is hitting the ground, but also I wonder if it helps slow it down as well. But yeah, no, that worked really well. So what I will do with my next couple of parachutes is use this kind of design. So we'll hot glue the threads on, or the ropes, and 2 gram weight. Hopefully I've got enough washers that are 2 grams. And what I might experiment with a different, because I've cut out different. I've got 2 of each kind of parachute, is have a play around with what happens when you have an apex hole or no hole at all. And if I have enough fabric and enough time, what I'd maybe also like to try and do is a parachute where it's like they've cut a paper snowflake pattern. So they're sort of something like holes like a Swiss cheese. How well would that work as a parachute would be quite interesting to see as well. So all in all, pretty happy with that. Right, well, I've just come back cackling like a loon from testing the shopping bag parachute. It's the white one, which you'll see probably when we do another test. That was not the result I was hoping for. If I was launching myself or something, a real valuable item from a plane, I wouldn't probably want to use a parachute like that, because it sailed off merrily a little bit like a hot air balloon and went quite far away from the intended target zone. So back to the drawing board on that one. But this one I haven't tested yet, and I'm really curious, because basically this is Holy Toledo, Batman. This is made using an emergency vest from the $2 shop, the kids one, and it's pretty much nothing but netting. So The other thing that I think might affect things is the fact that there are sort of built-in folds from where it was packaged, so it's kind of be fighting those, if you like, as well. It's going against the shape of the parachute a little bit, sort of in the opposite direction. So anyway, I'll go and give that one its first little launch and see how that goes.